Okay, I've got the flywheel all set up on here, and set up. I actually lifted it up because you wouldn't be able to see that part anyway. And I've got a couple of flywheel bolts just started here, so you may notice the dull look on the flywheel here. Now that look there is I've sandblasted the whole lot. It looked like it had a little bit of rust and that around the outside, and I thought, well, I may as well give it a good tidy up around the outside. And I've also sandblasted the clutch mating surface here. So what that does, that takes any glaze off that may have helped make the clutch slip. It's a slightly rough finish, and look, that's a good thing for a clutch. Yeah, not a bad thing at all. So what we'll do is, we have a couple of lock tabs here, so we'll get the flywheel sitting up in place, and then we'll pop a few little bits and pieces out. Like we'll pull a bolt out, then we'll Loctite it and then tension it up. So as we go, so it's easy to roll this thing, isn't it? Just lovely. Yeah, there should be a nut, a lock tab, and a bolt. So this was the first bolt that I put in. Now we're setting them up around 80 pound there somewhere. And look, we've got all the screws in, and I'm just going to buzz them up with this little fella. Okay, so now we know the flywheel's sitting on there nice and square. We'll just work our way around. We'll Loctite them and tension them. So you probably don't need the Loctite, but anyway, I'd just like to do it. If we rattle him up, then we have our tension wrench here. So that's okay. A little nut gun makes it nice and quick, doesn't it? We're out here early this morning trying to do a bit. It's supposed to be blowing a gale this afternoon. So the camera blows out then and I have real trouble with sound. Okay, so we've got to fold the tabs over, that's no worries. Now, we have a new pilot bearing here. Make sure you hit on the outside of the bearing, not on the inside. Make sure we stay on the outside there. Okay, I'll lock all these over and I'll come back when it's time to pop the clutch on. Okay, well look, we've got all that tidied up. We have the lock tabs locked over. I'll just make sure this is nice and tidy and clean in here, and it looks to be okay. Now, take a moment at this stage, just have a look that everything's right. You know, your lock tabs are locked over. You have got your bearing in there, so everything is looking okay. We'll try and, there's a little bits of noise coming in, so hopefully we can get this all done before it's time to shut down because of the wind. So we'll put the main clutch plate in. Now it can only go in one way, and it's a good plate. This is a Bear Co plate, this one. I probably should give you measurements for that tool one day, hey? So we pop that on there like that. That plate can only go one way with that dish. We've had a look inside, so we're comfortable with that. Now the main plate here, oh, it's heavy. We weren't actually hopping into that to see what happened with it. We were just going to use it because we know it was working well, and we've only just replaced that one plate. Now if we bring this around here. Now on these Massey Fergusons, some of them had the little slots down here and they had that little tin piece in there. This one didn't have that, it's a later type clutch. So I'll just see if I can bring this back into frame a bit. This trolley's a bit too easy. And we'll see if we can get a little bolt started there. Right, that's got that one started. We'll come across and see if we can get one started over this corner. Okay, that's coming in nicely. I'll take this one up here just a little bit more. The shed's starting to creak, the sun's coming out. People say doesn't that annoy me, but you actually go deaf to it, you sort of hear it, but it's just like the wind blowing the birds and all that sort of thing. It just sort of blends into the background a little bit, and we don't actually pay much attention to it until you're videoing. Then you hear it. I'm not even going to adjust this clutch here. The PDO was working fine, like I say, I was doing my slashing, topping with it, so and the PDO is just not going to matter for what we're doing. You notice I'm not starting the bolts with the little nut gun. I never like to do that. Had young blokes working for me and every bloody bolt was started with a nut gun, and they wouldn't realise it was cross-threaded till it was too late. You must have pretty strong fingers if you could cross-thread something with your can't find the hole. Story me like no. Yeah, they wouldn't realise it was cross till later. They wouldn't feel, but if you can cross something with your fingers and keep it going, you've got bloody strong hands, I tell you. Okay, they're all started. We'll just take them up gently. Okay. I'm going to Loctite these ones as well. Now we know they're all lined up. Now, I can't remember blowing these holes out, so we'll do that. I think I would have, but I just can't remember. Getting craft. Can't remember a effing thing. Right, well, I'll turn him over a little bit more. Sounds like we're selling something on eBay. You know, tractor part sales never stop. Oh, a bit much there, Bluey. See that? I saw a whiff of smoke. Might be running already. Okay, so that's all the way round. We'll just do a bit of a run around test. The Loctite's probably set, so my other half-inch spanner's up at the other shed. I'm too lazy to go and get it. Okay, so now what we have to remember to do is pop out the transport bolts and throw my spanner on the ground. So we know with the new clutch plate there now for our tractor runs we should be okay. Don't think we'll have any worries. Everything's Loctited, and with the Loctite there and the spring washers and things we shouldn't have a worry. And the only thing to do is check that these fingers are level, which, look, they are, but we'll probably check that a bit later before we go back together. Ta-da! Okay, so that's it. That's replacing the flywheel again. Now, if you go and have a look at the 6-speed video, you'll see where I've adjusted the PDO clutch here, and I've run through the adjustments for that. But look, this worked okay. We're not going to worry about doing that in this instance. This clutch will just release nicely, and away we go. Doesn't look like there's much of a gap here for the PDO anyway. So, but anyway, that's it. That's just putting the flywheel and clutch back on the trekking tractor. Plenty more to do. Stay tuned.